This coverage of MWC is brought to you by Bitdefender Mobile Security. You could say that this is the battle of two different flagships for the same exact company. Hey, it's Joshua Vergara from Android Authority. What's going on, everybody? And this is the Samsung Galaxy S5 versus the Galaxy Note 3. Though we are looking at two different sizes in these phones, we do see that the design aesthetics are actually quite similar between these two phones. The Note 3 does feature the more angular design and the very flat sides that the Galaxy S5 has adopted. The bigger 5.1-inch display on the Galaxy S5 does increase its size overall, but it is still smaller than the Galaxy Note 3 with its much larger 5.7-inch screen. The Galaxy Note 3 introduced a new material choice for Samsung, as the back was made of a faux leather, a textured plastic that did feel really nice in the hand. We have yet another change in the Galaxy S5 with a soft touch back that has a perforated design. Now, in the end, which one is better for you is going to be your opinion, but I think we can all agree that both of these are a welcome shift away from glossy plastic. One thing that the Samsung Galaxy S5 can definitely boast is its IP67 rating. It is waterproof and dustproof, which means that it can take the elements better than most smartphones out there, including the Galaxy Note 3. When it comes to the screens, while we do have the same 1080p resolution on both of these Super AMOLED displays, the difference in the size does mean that the pixel density is different on both. But for the most part, the text and reading experience on either one should still be very great, and the media consumption will be as well. As is expected from Super AMOLED displays, we do have vibrant colors, perhaps somewhat oversaturated, great viewing angles, and in the end, it's just a joy to watch anything on either one of these screens, depending on which size you prefer. In terms of performance, the Galaxy S5 does have the upgraded processing package, being the phone that came out later. The Galaxy Note 3 is still incredibly smooth and fast, and the S5 is just about as good, if not better. One thing that might be just a little bit of a disappointment is that the Galaxy S5 only comes with 2 GB of RAM. Despite the Note 3 beginning the trend of 3 GB, it doesn't look like that was going to continue for the S line. In the hardware department, we do have two somewhat different philosophies, as the Galaxy Note 3 definitely comes with that S Pen, the stylus experience that is pretty much one of a kind in the smartphone space. When you compare it and all of its additions that do make it onto the Galaxy S5, aside from the S Pen, we find that the Galaxy S5 has a very feature-heavy set. It does come with all of the bits and pieces that originally made it onto the S4 and the Note 3, but now there are new features like the fingerprint scanner that is found underneath the home button for a swipe down of any of your fingers to unlock the phone, and also a heart rate monitor on the back found just beneath the camera optics. The camera found in the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 was a very good 13-megapixel shooter that provided some pretty good shots and some pretty good videos, and was the first to bring 4K recording to the Samsung space. However, Samsung moved to a 16-megapixel ISOCELL sensor in the Galaxy S5 that should be able to take even better pictures with less noise, especially in low-light conditions. It does also bring 4K recording to the fray as well, but it is limited to only 5 minutes of video due to the large files it would create. Overall, however, the app in the S5 has been overhauled a little bit to provide a lot more settings for your smartphone photography. Hit that settings button and you'll see a lot of different toggles and settings in order to really tweak what kind of picture you want out of the camera. However, the S5 camera should still be a pretty big step up from the one found in the Note 3, not only in quality but also in terms of options. And finally, when it comes to software, we were looking for a bit of an update when it comes to the TouchWiz UI found in the Samsung Galaxy S5. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get it here, but it may not be that big a deal, as TouchWiz still performs very well despite some of its enhancements and maybe the need for an update that we are still going to end up waiting for. However, on the Galaxy Note 3, it does get the enhancements provided to it by the S Pen, which allow it to have a very great stylus experience that is somewhat one of a kind. When you move to the Galaxy S5, however, there's a bit of a different philosophy, as certain elements like the My Magazine UI have been moved to the very left as a second screen, and some of the elements have been changed to a flatter look and more circle-centric, as you might see in the notification dropdown. So while there are some changes in the TouchWiz UI from the Note 3 to the S5, they aren't really all that overarching at all. And so, there you have it, for the look at two flagship devices out of Samsung's camp. The Galaxy Note 3 is definitely one of the more popular devices out there right now, as plenty of people love that large display, and the S Pen functionality is definitely one of a kind. But the Galaxy S5 is looking to really jump back in and make the Galaxy S line the king again. In order to do that, Samsung really put everything into the phone except the kitchen sink. And we'll see if all those features really put it over the top. So, until we have our full comparison, including the comparison with the camera, stay tuned to Android Authority for all of the best coverage, especially our event coverage here at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, Spain.